also this man's woman.
That's right.
Okay. And these are two different roles. So the same way you have to be a particular way for the kids, you need to be a particular way for your mate. So if he's saying, you know what, babe, I don't like when you wear, certain type of underwear, or, why not come to bed with lingerie?
Right.
That's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
But oftentimes what is said is, well, I've been with the kids all day. I'm tired. Da, 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 da. I mean, how much longer do you expect this man to keep listening to the same story?
Yeah.
Because the same way you're expecting him to fulfill his role, you should, fulfill yours as well.
Yeah, you have to compromise and meet each other halfway. Absolutely.
Always.
So you jump to a lack of knowing what men want. So let's just talk about that. Let's talk about a lack of knowing what men want. Today's modern women are so convinced that a man has to do everything for her, and if he doesn't, he's not good for you.
He's not a man.
That they really don't understand what men want, and sometimes it's very simple. Like I said before, when I was single and I wasn't looking to get married, just like every other single guy that wasn't looking to get married, if basically what I was attracted to was physical, right? But once it got down to what I wanted to get married, and those qualities in a woman that I wanted in a mother or in a wife or in a lifelong partner, the majority of modern women don't have that. And it's probably because of the amount of single mothers are out there. It's probably because of the lack of masculinity. It's probably because it's drilled into you from The View and like Cardi B, I don't cook, I don't clean, and I still got this ring, and it's almost...
But not to cut you off, didn't her husband show a video of her like sweeping?
Did she? I don't know. I thought they got divorced.
I think he showed a video. You're talking about Cardi B, right? If I'm not mistaken, he showed a video of her like sweeping the floor.
Really?
So again, you shouldn't believe what you see.
Yeah,
it's just a sale. It's just a sell you a dream that they don't even live.
They don't even abide by their own rules. Yeah. I could see that. And it is, it's a shame. I say this all the time to people, and I say, see, my wife understands this, and this is one of the reasons why. And we had my marriages are perfect. We had to work to get there.
Of course.
But my wife understands this, and I think the majority of women in my family understand it, and that's because I come from a very traditional background. Like I said, my grandparents are from Italy, and the same thing with my sister-in-laws. My wife, her parents are from Greece, so it's very similar. Anyway, even though a woman has the ability and the opportunity to make as much money as a man does, and hey, that's fantastic, she still wants to be treated like a lady. She still wants a man to say, "You're beautiful," pull out the chair for her, open the car door for her, right? Well, the same goes for a man. Just because you're capable of making that money, we still want to be treated like a man. And being treated like a man is let me lead, or at least let me feel like I'm leading, right? So, stupid example. I took it was my wife's birthday. I took her out to dinner, right? I made the reservations. I picked the restaurant. I made the reservations. And then these used to be such a turnoff when I was single. If I made the reservations, I was going to dinner or whatever the case may be, and I walked into a restaurant and I went to go talk to the maitre d', say table for two, reservation for Olivia, and the girl jumped in front of me and did it instead of me doing it, like reservation or table for two, please. Like right away, then I know what your personality is like. Right away, I know you're a dominant, and you're not letting me do the guy thing. You're not letting me do it. And right away, I know that this isn't going to work, right? So all I'm saying is, listen, you might be a corporate lawyer, you might be a brain surgeon, but let your husband be a man, right? Leave being a boss at work and let your husband be a man. Let him sit at the head of the table. Do you know what I mean? Let him pay. Let him buy you nice things and appreciate it, because a man's instinct is to want to provide for his wife and his loved ones and his family. a real man anyway, a man that's brought up with masculine men, it's instinctual for us that I take my wife out to dinner and I pay and I make the arrangements. It makes me feel good. It makes me feel like I've done my duty as a husband.
Mhm.
And a lot of women either don't understand that, and I think a lot of men today don't understand it. I think the reason they don't understand that is because they don't have a masculine man around, or they don't have any man around, you know, and
Unfortunately.
they don't have, yeah, unfortunately it's true. And they don't get it. So and I think women don't understand that all you have to do is just take a little step back. I'm not saying we're not equal, you know what I mean? That's not the case. But it's the same thing. Like, you want me to call you beautiful, which I have no problem doing. You want me to open the car door for you. You want me to put your coat on. It's the same thing, only in a man's perspective. Let me lead. Let me be the man. Real easy. Get out of the car. You're going on a date. Hold your man's arm, and that's showing everybody, this is my man. Do you know what that man feels like? He feels like King Tut.
You know what's funny?
Go ahead.
If I'm on a date, and you know how when you're walking, if I'm walking on the outside,
that's right.
That lets me know a lot.
That's
because
right.
Because if the car hits, the car should hit you, shouldn't hit me. So I need to be protected. So that's you're right. Gonna have me shield, and I'm shielded because I'm on the inside.
That's right, 100%. Or
you're walking on the outside.
Here's another one.
It's the same thing.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Here's another one. What about where the man sits in the restaurant? Did you ever notice that?
Usually, something about they don't like sitting to the wall.
That's right. A man has to be sitting to the wall, nobody behind him. Okay. Mm-hmm. And he's able to see what is going on in the restaurant. Okay. Yep. That's instinctually. I cannot sit with my back to people. Yep. Instinctually, because that comes from like primitive society, because I have to be able to protect and see what's going on.
Yep.
And if I tell young ladies all the time, if you get a guy that doesn't do that, and there's plenty of them, don't just drop it. Just last date, done. Okay, so that was that one. We're gonna get rid of that one. Okay, the other one, which is very difficult for me because I don't think this is going to change. The need to be right, not accountable, and very combative. I truly think that is instinctual for all women, and I think it's very difficult. And I have this joke that I say that you could be married to the most dominant. You could be married to the leader of the Hell's Angels. After 10, 15 years of marriage, because your wife is like always needs to be right, you just go whatever you want. It's fine. It's fine. Just go right ahead.
Because we're going to keep going until
that's right.
If we got to die with. And this is what's funny is, you know, even women among women, we get sick of them, you know, because usually if you work at a job and it's predominantly women, it's usually something going on in certain cliques. This person don't like that one. It's usually something going on. It's always, you know, conflict. You know, there can't be too many, you know, queens in the castle. Mm-hmm. Honestly, I don't know why that seems to be the norm amongst women.
No, that was last night's video.
Yeah,
that was the video I did. That's what I did with that. So it was the video I did last night. That should be up actually today. And it was basically why men get along so well in groups and why women hate each other in groups. And me and another therapist talked about it for like a good 45 minutes and whatnot. It was actually pretty entertaining. I'll send you the link when it's up.
Please. So I don't know. To me, I always try to root stuff back to your past, because usually my behavior is learned.
Right.
And where did I get it from? So if I have the personality where I always need to be right, where is it in my past where someone always told me I wasn't good enough?
Mm-hmm.
You see, that's where I kind of get it from. And some people, that's just kind of like who they are, and it doesn't make it right. And sometimes no one is brave enough to put that person in their place. So it can't be like so much that kind of contributes to it. But why it's across the board for most women, that is beyond me.
It is my opinion that because in primitive society, all our instincts come from primitive society, right? Like everything that we've spoken about, a man looking around and whatnot. No, a woman being hypergamous, wanting the man to give to her best resources. It's my opinion, and then we'll get ahead of ourselves. But it's my opinion that women are instinctually that way because they need a man to survive in primitive times. So they kind of instinctually, because they're not bigger, because they're not stronger, because they're physically can't dominate a man, they have to mentally do it, and they have to mentally dominate you. And one of the ways they do it is not being accountable. You're always wrong, so you need me. Right. And I really think that that's personally where it comes from. Yeah. So you're not the only person with degrees. See those 2 degrees up there? I don't know if you can see them. I got them too.
Well, you know, a woman has great influence. If you ever want a man to do something, go to his wife or his mom.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
You know, we have great influence.
100%. But you think there's a lost art in modern women where what I mean is that spot where you are after so much time in charge of the household, in charge of the family, and the need to be right and not accountable is let go because you've earned that spot. So what I mean by that is you've been married for so long, and because she treats her man like a man and she has does her quote unquote wifely duties, she's earned that spot. She's earned the ability to be in charge at home, right? So like, I'll give you an example. My oldest brother is a contractor. My sister-in-law never had to work. She's one of the greatest women I've ever met in my life. She's a great mom and a great wife. Their kids are big and whatnot. But if one of my nieces, because they had 2 girls, if one of my nieces said to my sister-in-law, Mom, where are my green socks? She knew exactly where they were. You know, oh, they're in the dryer. All right, just put them away in your drawer or whatever. But at the same time, when my brother came home from work and he would work long hours, dinner's on the table, she's cleaning up, the house is spotless, the clothes are washed, you know, spiritually she was always there for him because spiritually and mentally, I guess you could say, she was always his rock, his support. And because he was but my oldest brother is very successful and he's an electrical contractor. And I truly believe he wouldn't be able to do it without her. Because there are times, you know, he got himself, you know, in every business, you're going to hit problems. Boom, boom, you're going to hit problems. It's going to happen. You're not going to be in business for 34 years and everything's going to run smooth. It's impossible. And this would weigh on him so much. And his wife would go home and just basically, we'll be fine. You'll deal with this. You could figure this. You could figure this out. So on and so forth. I mean, she's just aces. And that's what I mean. Now, when I call up my brother and I say, you know, what are you doing this weekend? He'll say, I don't know. I got to talk to the boss. We might be going out Saturday night. But his wife earned that spot, the boss. She earned it. Do you know what I mean? There was
her influence, because women have influence.
It was a great movie. I don't know if you saw it. You should watch it. It's pretty good. It's from Kevin Costner and I forgot who else. It's called Let Him Go. It came out last year. And it's really a good movie. It's called Let Him Go. And one of the aspects of the movie is it was early 60s. And she was that kind of woman. She was very, very feminine and very, very, was a fantastic wife, but she was also very influential. And they lose her grandson. I don't want to get into the whole story, but she wants to go see her grandson and she's going, but she needs her husband to go with her. And she is influencing him. So finally she makes the decision that she's going to get her grandson and she has to drive there, right? Before she leaves and before they leave, the bags are packed, but his dinner's on the table before they leave. And then when they're driving, he's driving, she's in the passenger seat and she cuts him a piece of cake and she pours a coffee for him. But they're going where she wants to go.
Oh, yeah. Influence is everything.
Yeah.
We have a lot of influence. That's why I don't understand the struggle with when we say submissive.
Mm-hmm.
There's submissive.
There are certain words in our society that are
trigger words. Yeah,
trigger words or frowned upon, so on and so forth. And just because a woman, quote unquote, is submissive doesn't mean she's not a woman. See, a man, on the other hand, if he is submissive, that's a problem. Okay, because he's going to lack He's going to lack his protective instinct. He's going to lack his ambition. You don't want to marry that guy that's submissive, because he is not going to go above and beyond. He is going to go to work, and this is probably what's going to happen. He'll go to work. He'll work a regular job. His check will be a direct deposit into a joint account with him and his wife deals with the money. He doesn't, and she will literally give him the money he needs for the week to go to work. And if he needs anything, she has to tell him. What'd you say?
I've seen that.
Me too. I have friends that work like that. I'm like, my God. Yeah. Anyway, so okay, so we're going to go into now the next talking point that Kevin Samuels talks about is the lack of traditional family values. So why don't you I want you to take that over, because I know we've had conversations. You are very spiritual. You're a devout Christian. And
I'm not perfect now. Let me just
no,
let
listen,
me just throw that out there. I'm not perfect. No, because in the world we live in, when someone says they're Christian, they're expecting you to be just like Jesus.
Oh no. Yeah.
I got some stuff. But,
we all do. We all do. Listen, I was raised Roman Catholic, and my mother is the most devout. She's 86 years old, and she literally, I'm not kidding, she goes to church, even with COVID. She goes to church 3 times a week. The parish would put the saints and the candles outside so the people would come. She was 3 times a week, lighting candles, praying, going to see her saints. I went to Catholic school, so on and so forth. But I want you to take this one, because I think, even though I'm not nearly as spiritual and Christian as you are in my practice, as I practice, but I think the Bible gives us a good outline of what traditional family values are, and I think that's lost. So why don't you take that one?
Well, in my opinion, we kind of live in a world where right is wrong and wrong is right. We don't respect one another, even each other's beliefs. We have pretty much championed, even being a single parent. And just let me be transparent, I'm a single parent. I have a son, he's 12. I've been raising him on my own since pretty much he came out my womb. Mm-hmm. I love my son dearly. Mm-hmm. It was his dad's choice not to be there, and that's okay. It is what it is. Mm-hmm. But I wouldn't dare tell another woman that she should be a single mom, have a child before she's married, these things. And we kind of push that narrative. And I'll just say, last weekend I was with my cousin, and there was a young lady there. And my cousin was just kind of talking about, her children, And I looked at the young lady. I said, do you have children? And she said, no. I said, I don't have any until you're married. Because these women might make you think that being a single parent is what it is, but it's not, because everything you do revolves around that child.
That's right.
You're on lockdown pretty much until that baby is 18 years old.
That's right.
So, but we have kind of made it okay for us to live this way, and it's not right. We don't honor anything. Just the thing with like traditional values. For some reason, when a woman says she's a homemaker, you don't work. Ugh, what do you do? How can your husband stand for you not to be at work? Just like one of the shows, I think it's Married to Medicine, and one of the young ladies, she's a stay-at-home mom. Mm-hmm. And the other lady is always talking about, how can she stay home? She's just spending all his money, and she doesn't do anything. But I bet you 9 times out of 10, if you guys were to switch roles, you couldn't handle being a homemaker.
That's right.
But we keep putting value on money. Mm-hmm. Even the word said, what does it value a man to gain the whole world and lose his soul? Mm-hmm. So it's hard to say, because it's so much that goes into it. There's a lot of trauma that comes in as well. It shouldn't be normal for a young man to be 5, 10, 12 years old and his aunt is playing with his penis, okay? Mm-hmm. It shouldn't be normal that women are being violated by their dads and their uncles, and no one says anything, and this has happened to her mother, and this has happened to her mother. There's too many secrets that are being carried as well.
And that's the world you deal with day in, day out, right at work.
Yes, and
that's sad. That's
people
very sad.
are hurting.
Yeah.
But they cover it so well. But eventually it's going to rear its head. It's going to impact you some kind of way, whether it's in your job, in your relationships, or with yourself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, even with men, you know, men, they get molested too. They get raped too. It's not talked about, but it happens. So who do you tell? As a man, who do you tell if you've been violating that way? Because you're going to have some shame along with it. Who do you tell? You keep it. What happens when you've been violated by your brother's best friend? And everybody loves him. You like it's so much that goes into this, you know, and we promote heavy sexuality. We don't value our bodies. We show it to anybody. It's pretty much free. Here you go, here you go. Everybody's twerking. Everybody's doing all this crazy stuff.
Yes.
There ain't no in the world you gonna catch it somewhere. You're just shaking my tail. Just
and they want to know why, and then they want to know why men don't take them serious.
Yeah. And the truth is, a man, and let's emphasize a man.
That's right.
A man does not want a woman like that. Okay, and I'll say this. I don't mean no offense to anybody. I think she's a beautiful woman.
Go right ahead.
Kim Kardashian. Everybody knows this lady.
Oh, please.
She's a beautiful woman, even though she might be enhanced. She's a beautiful woman. But I think Kanye is a cool dude. But with all the money she has and all the beauty she has, why hasn't a real man wifed her?
Because she's the dominant one. It's the same thing, just like her mother.
It's not even that. A man doesn't want that type of woman.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yes. No, I agree.
They don't want that type of woman.
How long was she married to that basketball player? Like 15 minutes?
Not long. And the other one before that.
Yeah.
This is like her third marriage. Now, a man doesn't want that type of woman, but see, the media have you thinking you need to be like Kim Kardashian.
No.
But most men, they'll screw her.
Right, exactly. Yes.
But they're not going to wife her. And if they do wife her, it's going to be a certain kind of man.
That's right. 100% you see what I'm saying? Right. That's right.
But we're not being told the truth. That's the problem. We're scared to tell the truth.
And nobody's there to tell nobody's there to tell young people or young women, hey, look, that's fine and that's entertainment, but that's not real life. Okay.
No, it's not.
And that's 100% part of the loss of traditional values. Now, on my end, or traditional values, I'm concerned mostly about the absentee father, because if you don't have a father there, or if you have a weak man as a father, you are not going to respect masculinity. You're not even going to know what it is, right. And you're not going to know what it's like to be respected. It's going to be unknown to you. And again, when I say masculinity, it usually gets mixed up with toxic masculinity, with this abuse, but that's not it at all. Okay.
I don't like that.
Yeah, me neither. Toxic masculinity to me is somebody.
It should go together at all.
No, it's not. It's actually, to me, when you say toxic masculinity, it is a man who is a womanizer, a man who is all the terrible things that men in the past and even some till today still do. Womanizing when you are married, gambling too much when you're married, drinking too much when you are married. But today, toxic masculinity is just, maybe catcalling from a construction site. And
you have to be careful. Now you can't say nothing.
Yeah, I don't consider that toxic masculinity. I consider that just guys being guys.
I don't like the term, because I feel like even when you say, I feel like masculinity has a negative connotation. So when you say toxic, it's like you're saying toxic twice, because nobody said toxic femininity.
That's right. That's right. And that's why there is toxic femininity. Yeah, there is toxic femininity. Absolutely. But today, I mean, masculinity to me, and I think to most, is what we basically said before. A man that is going to be a provider, a protector, and also a teacher, and teach his children.
Yes.
From the littlest things to the greatest things, to how to deal with a relationship, to how to deal with women, all the way down to how to dress. Do you know what I mean? And one of my pet peeves, this is one of my pet peeves. when a young man or an older man, any man, doesn't know how to do a knot on his tie.